everyone, welcome to Conversations with Elise Quevedo. Today, I am joined by fellow global thought leader, author and professor, Carlos Scolari. Hi, Carlos. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Elise. Thanks for this possibility of talking a little bit about what's going on in Barcelona.
Exactly, Carlos, because we just saw each other during Mobile World Congress Barcelona. To be honest, Carlos, I cannot believe it actually happened. It was so great to finally see you in person again and to be able to experience what I think, and everybody knows, is one of the world's top tech events. We have been waiting for 16 months since 2020 got canceled, and GSMA finally made it happen. And I could not be more honored to have been invited and been able to see what they did with you. So I know we both had similar takeaways. Let's talk about the top three, because during lunch, you mentioned how nice it was to see the startups have so much presence this year. Can you share some thoughts on that, please?
Yeah, we should remember that the Mobile World Conference was the first big event to be canceled when we started this nightmare a year and a half ago. So it's very important. The Mobile World Congress is the first big event that we can still now meet together and see each other after so many months. So if you remember the old versions of the Mobile World Congress, and the startups area was outside the feet of Barcelona, was in another part of the city, in Montjuic. It was a very important event under the umbrella of the Mobile World Conference. But this year they were inside a big event. So I think it was important because sometimes many people came to the Mobile World Congress, but they didn't have enough time for visiting the startups area. And now they were inside the big event. So it was great to see all these little companies looking for contacts, looking for investors. And I hope that in the future they can keep this space for the new things inside the big conference. I think it's good, the interaction between the big ones and the little emerging actors.
I completely agree, and you're right. The previous editions, of course, we're talking about 8 full halls versus 3 this year. I mean, before you were taking 20, 25 minutes to go from the beginning all the way to the end where the startups were. And not many people made the effort to go all the way there, especially when you're having meetings and you have a specific talks you want to do, because Mobile World Congress is so extensive. We're thinking of 110,000 people attended the last time. This year, I think it was around 30,000, which is still huge, but only 3 halls. So number 3, it was so prominent with the startups. I remember we walked in and it's like, whoa, you have this huge area with these little booths, and reminded me a little bit of, to be honest, of Web Summit. This startups area or this startup event that so many people attend, and all of a sudden Mobile World Congress is encouraging more to attend. So I agree with you. I really hope they take this as an initiative to evolve, because at the end of the day, the startups are the future of technology.
Yeah, I was surprised because I found many little companies, emerging companies, working in the field of health services. So that's obviously a collateral effect of the pandemics. But I think there were many applications also for working in the field of education, for example. So and social participation. So it was great to see this fermentation in the field.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, Carlos, let's talk about Chinese brand Huawei, who I want to say a big thank you for having us as guests and giving us a tour of their booth. Huawei showed once again its vote of confidence. They have been partners with GSMA for a long time, and they didn't disappoint. I mean, of course, Carlos, they didn't have that huge booth they normally have at Hall 1, but you could not miss them. The king and the president of Spain also passed their booth, and you and I both had a lot of fun. I mean, we experienced Idea Hub as an example, a product solution I had been wanting to try out for such a long time. since they launched it, and their focus seemed to be 5G, and not just from a business point of view, but also consumer. They had AR and VR experiences. They showed their smart airport solution aimed at optimizing the operational efficiency of airports. And we also got to learn more about their next 2025 evolution paper, which covers how ICT will impact the future of B2B, B2C, healthcare, which you've just mentioned, industrial digitization, accessible networks, the integration of 5G into cloud, AI, big data, and so much more. So Carlos, what are for you your thoughts on Huawei after so many companies pulled out being at MWC Barcelona this year?
I think it's important for everyone in the sense that it was very, very important for GSMA that Huawei was here in Barcelona. It was one of the big, basic, fundamental actors of the new media ecology, and they were there. So that was important for the organization of this event, also for the city of Barcelona to have this big actor in the field of Barcelona. And I think it's important also for Huawei. We know that someone was looking for an isolation of the company, and they want to be in Europe, they want to be in our countries. So, and I think that it's important also for the company to be here. And I think it was very clear that many important actors, even European actors, were not present. And I didn't understand that, because at least organize a little space, not like in the old times, but at least be there. I think in many, especially European companies, I miss a lot the presence of these actors. So that's what for me was very important. They put together, as you said, the consumer area and the advanced technology for communication and infrastructure. They put together everything in a single space. But I think it's important also thinking in the future of the Mobile World Congress. And this is a transition year, but I think it's a demonstration that they say, okay, we are here and we want to stay here. If you see when the King of Spain and the President of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, they came to the Mobile World Congress, they visited the Spanish area, and they immediately went to visit the Huawei stand. So that's also is an example of the political and beyond the politics. I mean, it's the importance of this space.
Exactly, Carlos, because as we know, I mean, many people know I'm based between the United Kingdom and Spain. So I get to see the difference of how the different tech brands have presence in different areas. And when it comes to Huawei, there is a huge difference in between Huawei Spain with the relationship they have with the government and how well accepted they are. They are celebrating, if I believe, their 20th anniversary. And in the UK, they're so restricted. Everything is always last minute, cannot talk about anything. And here we are. And I remember we were at booth 1 and I asked about, do you have Idea Hub here? And then all of a sudden our chaperone says, hey, it's across the street. If you want, I will take you over. So we walked over to the Renaissance, which is where we came across Tony Yin Young, which is the president of Huawei Spain. And then we had a private tour and demonstration, and we got to experience Idea Hub. As a professor, what do you think are some of these benefits of, or what did you like or didn't like about Idea Hub? Because
I have seen many videos, but the real experience was fantastic because it's an integration. Now we have inside the classroom, we have a lot of technologies connected, cables, and sometimes you spend a lot of time trying to put all together. And they have created a device that integrates everything. The old blackboard, the projection system, the video conference system, and the sensation of writing on this screen was fantastic. The latency was minimal. It was writing on paper. I found it very, very useful, and I shared the information with my colleagues in the university because I think we should include this kind of devices in our classes and also in our meetings. It would be fantastic.
Yeah, this was definitely a highlight. And once again, Thank you, Huawei, for showing us around. So Carlos, let's now talk about the talk of the event. Because yes, Huawei Spain Pavilion was huge and was a big presence. Of course, Spain representing the king and the president of Spain visiting Huawei was also a highlight. But then Danielle Royston and TelcoDR stole the show because they created the Cloud City experience at MWC. She took over Ericsson's 65,000 feet area, brought Bon Jovi and Rosario Flores to perform. She had multiple vendors on display, which for what I hear, she didn't charge them to actually be there. They had to booth and stuff it, but didn't charge them, and truly made a splash. But Carlos, let's be honest here. Was it worth it? Or was it all big smoke and mirrors and a big PR stunt? There are many unanswered questions when it comes to TelcoDR. Even I reached out to Danielle, but she hasn't answered yet. So what are your thoughts on TelcoDR and this Cloud City area that we saw?
Everyone is talking about DR. Everyone is talking about this new emerging company. The space was incredible because they have trees, good food, beautiful screens, and a virtual reality experience. But I didn't see any hardware or software. I heard a lot of discourses, but I didn't touch anything. Obviously, we're talking about the cloud, so it's very difficult to touch that. But let's see what happens in the following month. I think this is an incredible communication operation strategy, marketing strategy. Everyone is talking about that. And they have promised to share applications and new things in a few months. So now they have created the expectancy of what's coming on. Let's see what's coming on.
Exactly. I completely agree. I don't have much to add to this because yes, I feel huge PR stunts, and now let's see what the true value of TelcoDR is. She purchased Totogi for over $100 million investment, a company that is on a stealth mode, less than, I believe, 20 employees. Nobody's made an announcement. So everyone is a little bit like, huh? What's going on? But wow, you got Ericsson's space. And I even read some of the articles. She was not very kind to Ericsson and Nokia. And I would always be careful about what you say against your huge competitors. But it's obvious that this lady is backed up by big pockets. So I look forward to seeing some real meat of Cloud City or TelcoDR and see what happens. So, okay, Carlos, to end today, what do you think, why do you think it was so important for MWC to happen this summer? And what is the overall takeaway after being there in person?
I think it was very important because you can imagine 2 years without this big event would be very, very difficult to reorganize it. So it was very important to have this edition, even if it is limited, not so many people, not so many surface, but that's great because now it's easier to organize the big new event in 2022. So this is a transition edition, everyone knows that, but it was very important to create the link between the tradition of this event and the new, because it will change, I think. No? I think the many things like a hybrid format, no? I think that will continue, like in education and in work, and we will see a new way of doing also. So, but I think it was, this is, we don't have a missing link. We have a missing link in 2020, but this year we have this little link between the past and the future.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Carlos. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Elise.
To jump on this chat and sharing some thoughts on Mobile World Congress 2021. That I agree with you. I think it was time to make this happen. And for me, it showed you need to keep moving forward. Time does not wait for anybody. And we have to take a leap of faith. Yes, there were many big names such as Nokia, Ericsson, and Samsung that pulled out from being there in person, but Lenovo, CTE, Orange, Huawei, Vodafone, Telefonica, Istanbul's Chamber of Commerce, and many, many more showed up. So ladies and gentlemen, if there is one thing we have learned, as GSMA's director, Mats Granryd, said, we can actually have these events, we can have them safe, and we can actually do business again and see each other face to face. Looking forward to MWC 22.
See you next year in Barcelona.
Until next time, Carlos. See you soon.